What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is David Benjamin from Healthy Wild Free. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 food sources of protein in the world. And not only the top 5 food sources of protein in the world, but the top 5 food sources of bioavailable protein, meaning these are protein sources of food that have not only the highest ratio of amino acids, but they have essential amino acids, which are the building blocks for protein that your body needs, but also the ratio of these essential amino acids at the highest level so that when you consume these proteins, your body can break down the proteins into amino acids and then utilize those amino acids back in your body to rebuild your hair, your skin, your nails, your muscle tissue, and joints, ligaments, and really everything in your entire body, because we're made of protein and fat and many other things, but mainly protein and fat and minerals. So with that being said, we have to first discuss the difference between plant-based proteins and animal-based proteins. Now, we've all seen these memes that say, for example, beans and beef, they contain the same amount of protein, like 22 grams each, and they both contain the same amount of protein. So we can hang up the phone and it's the end of the day and we can move on with our lives and eat beans or beef and we'll get the same amount of protein. Well, the thing about that is it's not that simple, because while beef and beans may have the same amount of protein, the metabolic breakdown of these proteins and the amino acid ratios of these proteins is vastly different. So for example, with the case of beans, beans have non-essential amino acids mixed with essential amino acids, whereas beef has all the essential amino acids in it. And the essential amino acids are what your body needs much more than non-essential amino acids, because the non-essential amino acids your body actually makes endogenously, meaning your body makes 18 of the 20 amino acids internally, but those 8 you need to get through your diet. And you don't get those 8 through beans. You get them through beef or fish or chicken or eggs. So with that being said, there's a big difference between protein sources from plants and protein sources from animal-based proteins, just based on the amino acid composition of these proteins and the ratio of those essential amino acids. So we can go really deep on that, but long story short, animal-based proteins have much higher ratios of protein. Even if it's the same and it looks the same, it's the same amount of protein. If you look deeper into the amino acid profile, the animal-based sources have the essential amino acids and a better ratio of those essential amino acids, which allows your body to break down those proteins and rebuild them as amino acids to build protein and be utilized by the body. So with that being said, the one thing that you need to know with all of the essential amino acids, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, valine, tryptophan, threonine, phenylalanine, and methionine, all 8 amino acids that are essential. Like I said, the animal-based proteins have a much higher source of these and a better ratio of these for your health. So I'm going to list the top 5 foods for you, but what I want you to understand is the difference between the anabolic and the catabolic state of these proteins when you consume them as well. So every food I share with you, I'm going to share the amino acid or protein utilization score or percentage of that food, and then I'll share with you on the flip side of that, the rest of that protein becomes catabolic. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, the best source of protein in the world by far is eggs. Eggs contain 48% protein utilization, meaning that your body utilizes almost half of the protein that you consume in eggs. Now, because it utilizes 48%, that's anabolic amino acids, meaning that your body utilizes those amino acids to rebuild, repair, and recover. The other 52% of those amino acids are converted into sugars and or fats by the body, depending on what your body needs. So eggs are a great thing to get in your diet. You want to be sure to eat pasture-raised eggs, because these are really the best, healthiest source of eggs that you could possibly get. Number 2 is fish. Fish is 32% in terms of protein utilization, meaning that 32% of the protein that you get from eating fish is utilized. Those amino acids are broken down and utilized in the body. On the flip side of that scale, 62% of those amino acids are catabolic, meaning they can turn into sugars or fats, which these are also energy sources by the body, and these are healthy sources of energy. So don't think, oh, sugar, fat, bad. These are healthy sources of glycogen, fuel, and fat that the body utilizes for energy overall. The third source is red meat. Now this is typically beef, lamb, beef, things like that. And this is a score of 32 as well. So fish and red meat are basically the same in terms of protein utilization. Whether you're eating fish or beef, you're basically going to get the same amount of protein, so not a lot of difference there. Once again, 68% catabolic, meaning that 68% of those amino acids are then converted into glycogen or fat, which the body then utilizes as energy. The fourth source of protein that is the highest is chicken. This is a 30% protein utilization score, meaning 30% of the protein that you consume in chicken, your body can use that protein efficiently, and then 70% of that will be converted into glycogen and or fat, which once again, that glycogen and fat is utilized as energy. So don't think of it as a bad thing. As long as you're getting organic, pasture-raised meats, non-GMO, as long as you're getting healthy, high-quality meats and eggs, these are going to be utilized by the body in a healthy way. And last but not least, the fifth source of protein that has the highest utilization score is whey protein, but it actually drops off quite a bit. So number one, eggs, 48, fish and red beef, or red meat and beef, that's 32%, and then 30% chicken. And then it drops off quite a bit to number 5, which is whey protein, which is at 18% protein utilization. So basically the first protein powder, beyond like pea protein and things like that, really the best source of protein that you can get in powder form is going to be whey protein, because you get 18% of that is utilized as amino acids, but then on the flip side of that, the other 82% is catabolic, so meaning the other 82% of amino acids will convert into glycogen, which is also once again used as energy and or fat depending on your body's needs. So that's the list breakdown. It's eggs, fish, red meat, chicken, and whey protein in that order. So if you get more of those foods in your diet, you're going to get a higher degree of protein. And if you prioritize the foods on the list that are higher, that will be better as well. So I'll put the list below. And last but not least, I think one important thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to utilize branched chain amino acids. And the reason for that is because branched chain amino acids are quite literally only containing 3 of the essential amino acids. And the problem with that is when it comes to essential amino acids, you need all of the essential amino acids, and you need a specific ratio of those essential amino acids at specific percentages in order for your body to actually create a protein utilization sort of bond. Because what happens is when protein is broken down, it creates amino acids, and amino acids are bonded together by peptides. So if you don't have the correct essential amino acids bonded together by peptides, you aren't going to rebuild protein properly. So because branched chain amino acids only contain 3 of the essential amino acids and a bunch of non-essential amino acids, your body, believe it or not, only utilizes 1% of branched chain amino acids as building blocks, as anabolic amino acids to rebuild muscle. So you're really not building a lot of muscle with branched chain amino acids. 99% of branched chain amino acids are catabolic, meaning that they're converted into glycogen or fat. Mainly glycogen, which yes, that gives your body energy for the workout, and that's a great thing, but it's only giving you energy. It doesn't help with the rebuilding process, and you can get glycogen in a lot of ways. So BCAAs are really just overpriced amino acids, and you're giving your body all these non-essential amino acids that your body makes endogenously, and it'd be much better to get the foods that are higher on the list, such as eggs, fish, beef, chicken, or whey protein. Or if you want the highest, absolute high source of protein that gives you 99% protein utilization, quite literally double what eggs give you, which eggs is the number 1 food, you can take a product called PerfectAmino. Now, PerfectAmino is a blend of literally just the essential amino acids, all 8 of them, paired with ATP and a few other key ingredients that help with the DNA and RNA process and the synthesis of protein, so that the utilization of these proteins are incredibly high. So when you consume these, you're getting a lot more protein with a lot less input as far as the supplement is concerned. And I can speak firsthand to the validation of this product, because multiple summers now, and not this year in particular, but multiple summers in a row, I went to the gym 1, 2, 3 months in a row, and I went to the gym like 5 days a week, and I built 5 pounds of muscle. I added 5 pounds of muscle every single month sequentially for like 3 months in a row during the summer. So 5, 10, 15. The most I added was like 15 pounds. But adding 15 pounds of muscle in just 3 months is pretty extraordinary. And right now, unfortunately, I've lost like pretty much all that weight, like 10 or 12 of those pounds. 10 or 12 of those pounds. However, it does work, and I've seen it work firsthand because I've taken them, and you have to lift weights, obviously. You have to actually strain your muscle. You have to break down your muscle in order to give the protein to rebuild it. But I've seen in combination with eating more eggs and more of those higher protein utilization foods and perfect amino acids, my body add muscle mass. So if you feel weak, or you feel like your joints need some support, or you need more muscular support, or you need help rebuilding from after the gym, I highly recommend perfect amino acids far above branched chain amino acids. In fact, get rid of your branched chain amino acids. Go with those foods that are high in the protein utilization chart, or with a whey protein, but this is ultimately going to give you the best results. But if this is a vegan formula, believe it or not, and believe it or not, it's just, all it is the amino acids. So it gives you exactly what you need with no metabolic waste whatsoever. So your body just knows exactly what to do with those amino acids at those ratios. So it turns into building blocks in the body in an anabolic state to rebuild muscle and skin and hair and nails and tissue and joints and ligaments and all that. So I've noticed a huge difference, tremendous difference with Perfect Amino. So I will link it up right below this video. So check it out below, click that link and use the discount code and the link below to get, I believe it's like 10% off your order. And I will link up more information right below this article. So check that out below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.